Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm your host, Coach Tripp, on the special Saturday edition. We have a good friend of mine, Coach Mark Hobley, here with us, and a special guest, Coach Eddie Payton, brother of Hall of Fame Walter Payton. Eddie, thanks so much for joining the show today.
Hey, I can think of nothing I'd rather be doing than sitting here with you two coaches.
Right. Oh, Coach, man, I want to start from the beginning so everybody gets to know you and your amazing family. You grew up in Columbia, Mississippi.
Columbia,
Mississippi. And talk about your mom, Aline, and your dad and growing up there and the amazing job, because when I see such successful people, I look at their parents. Talk about your mom and dad a little bit.
Well, I could be an entire show talking about my mother and father, but the thing they did, they worked real hard to provide our family the things that we needed to be thought of as people who had something on the ball. My mother worked 2.5 jobs, and my father worked 3 jobs all their lives, so we could live in the style that we were. The work ethic that we learned from them, we weren't learned from watching. They didn't have to tell us we need to work hard. They made us work hard till we appreciated it.
Oh my gosh. As kids, did you and Walter play multiple sports? Did you do all sorts of activities? Like I know when I was a kid, I was water skiing and running in the sand and balance stuff, like cross training, they used to call it. Did you, because your brother had such great balance, you had such great, amazing talent and balance, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But as kids, did you play different sports and were you doing different things?
The first organized sport I think I ever played, I was 10 years old, and they brought Little League Baseball to Columbia. A gentleman named Willie Bradley started Little League Baseball, and I started playing Little League Baseball, and Walter, who was 2 years younger, didn't start for a couple of years. And that's the only organized sport that we had. We didn't have gyms to work out. We didn't have cross training. We didn't have weight room, but we had baseball, and we had to walk to practice every day, which helped develop our legs and made us appreciate the time we had when we got there.
The love of hunting and fishing that you guys have, you and your brother shared that. I'm actually friends of mine from Butler, Alabama, took you in the late 90s, took you on a deer hunt. How did you get the love of hunting and fishing at a young age, I assume, from your dad?
Yeah, my father hunted and fished as long as I can remember, and he had the foresight to take us. We didn't find out until later that the reason he was taking us fishing is because when we got home and had been successful fishing, he just cleaned those couple of fish for your mama so she can cook them, and then he disappeared.
The
love of hunting, we only had a .410, so first thing we learned to shoot were squirrels, and we shoot squirrels for breakfast. Then we graduated to rabbits. We shoot rabbits for dinner. Then we graduated for deer, but then I was almost 29 years old before I killed my first deer.
Oh, wow. Holy cow, you were?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about going to Jackson State. How did you get recruited? Did you have a good high school team? What positions did you play in high school? Talk about your high school career and then going on to Jackson State.
Well, Jackson State chose me. Their assistant running back coach came down to watch 3 of our big offensive linemen play. And it just happened to be I had a great game on offense and defense. And he went back and told the head coach, said, look, the 3 big kids that we looked at are good, but I like to look at. and the rest is history.
That happens a lot.
It does. Again, one thing about it, you can't hide talent. It has a way of showing itself. And that night, I kind of had one of those games that you dream about on offense and defense. And he recognized it. His name was Bob Hill. He's no longer with us, but he recruited Walter and introduced Walter to his first wife. So, we were fortunate to be in Mississippi and be recruited by Jackson State, Alcorn, and Mississippi Valley.
Thank God for Coach Hill. Mark follows the HBCUs, and they have had so many NFL players. You're right. If you got talent, it doesn't matter where you're playing, they're going to find out. Hobbs?
Hey, Coach, my dad played for Florida A&M and the great Jake Gaither back in the 40s. And he said back then, Jake had 3 teams. They were blood, sweat, and tears. And if I'm not mistaken, Deacon Jones came to Florida A&M and didn't make it and end up going to, I think, South Carolina State. And we all know
South Carolina State.
Yes, sir. So I had a gentleman tell me about my dad one time. He played for Jake, and he said Jake would always ask him, because I'm from Pensacola, we're from Pensacola. He would always ask him about my dad. And my dad wasn't very big, but this guy told me, he said, Jake said when he got a new kid on the team, he would always put him in front of my dad to find out how tough the other kid was, And so I just think about what you probably went through with the great players that you had. And I think you mentioned that practices were tougher than the NFL or some of the competition that you had. Please elaborate a little bit on that with the, with some of the things you came through and had to overcome. Please.
Well, one thing about Coach Hill, he was an excellent teacher. He wouldn't just scream at you and make you run laps. He would break it down and show you what you were doing wrong, and he expect for you to learn quickly if you wanted to play. I had 12 guys in my senior class that got drafted and 15 guys that signed in the NFL. We're talking about Jerome Backham, Richard Castor, Leon Gray, Emmanuel Sanders, those guys that established what they could do once they got to the NFL. But they were doing it at Jackson State long before anybody ever knew how good they were.
Wow.
Holy cow. You played in the Canadian Football League besides your 6 years in the NFL. I didn't know that. I enjoyed my time in Toronto, a couple of years in Toronto when I played there. Where did you play?
I played in Toronto, and I played in Ottawa.
All right, we're brother Argos.
Them damn Argos. Absolutely loved it. It gave me an opportunity to show people what I could do at the next level that it kind of overlooked me at one time. And the experience I had in the Canadian League, I wouldn't exchange for anything that I've ever done. Great people, great players, great coaches.
I agree. Great people, great cities. Toronto is a great city. I really enjoyed my time up in Canada as well. It's really good football too. I mean, my old
great football.
Woodrow Lowe, a great All-American linebacker at Alabama. His little brother Eddie Lowe, I played with, and he played in the Canadian Football League for 10 or 12 years. All right, 6 years in the NFL, Eddie, 77 to 82. The Browns, you were undrafted. You did not get drafted. You like me, you're an undrafted free agent, so you were low on the depth chart because I went to the Browns.
Don't say that. Don't say low on the fast I may have been overlooked, but it wasn't because I was low.
You're underrated, man. That's all.
Yes,
you proved yourself. And you really an amazing career. I think over 5,000 return yards in 6 years. You returned 4 touchdowns, kickoffs in one game. Was it the Minnesota Vikings, Harley?
It was in 1977, I think.
You returned a punt and a kickoff for a touchdown. Talk about that.
Well, I was at Detroit then. We were playing indoors. And it was on Monday night, and it was the first time that we've been on Monday night that year. And it just, everybody did what they were supposed to do, and I just reaped the benefits from it. I don't think that I did anything special except hit the hole, make 10 people miss, and then run 100 yards.
That's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask you. Did you go untouched, or did you have to break 10 tackles? And you just told me the answer already.
Well, there was one guy left, and he was the kicker. And when you break out and there's nobody left between you and the kicker, you look him in the eyes and you realize he don't want no part of this.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But I tell you what, it was a night to remember, and I guess every athlete at every level has had one of those nights when everything falls into play and you look a lot better than you really are.
Exactly. That exactly happened to me. My very first game in the NFL. I had 12 tackles, 2 interceptions, a fumble, a pick six. I got NFC Player of the Week. My dream game in my very first game in the NFL, and it all went downhill after that.
At least you got there.
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but there are rumors.
Hey, buddy, what's the hardest you've ever been hit? Was it a punt return or kickoff return? Somebody just try to take your head off?
When I signed with Minnesota and they wanted to reduce my salary, that was a hard hit.
They didn't really want to do that.
Oh no! Payton, but everybody at that level can deliver something that will stay with you the rest of your life, and I can't give enough. We don't have enough time for me to give credit to all the guys who hit me hard. Where you see stars, you take that smelling sauce running out of your nose, and you lie to the coach, say, "Coach, I'm all right."
Mr. Payton, did you ever play against a Lee Williams? He was out of Bethune-Cookman, played defensive tackle, played a little bit with Houston, and played with the Lee Williams. That's one of my best friends out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sir?
Hell of a football player.
Yes, sir, and hell of a businessman as well. I was very fortunate when I went to Fort Lauderdale to meet Lee because I met his brother. We worked together at Boyd Anderson High School. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, we would pal around with Lee, and I had a chance to meet some of his old teammates. And wow, Lee is a tremendous man.
Well, he's a great guy, and you're from that Florida area too.
Yes,
I'm going to Pensacola next week to go deep sea fishing.
All right,
we'd
love to have you here.
Oh wow!
Oh,
awesome.
I'll get your information and call you down because if we have any luck, the most important person on a deep sea fishing trip is the person that cleans the fish when you come back in, and you look like you can handle it.
Then you could disappear, huh?
Yeah,
that's right.
Disappear.
Yeah.
As a Viking, a kid gave you a nickel and said it was good luck one game before the game. What did you do with that nickel, and what happened that night?
I don't know. I had it in my pocket when I was changing, getting ready to go out for pregame warm-up. It dropped out, and I'm leaning over. I just picked it up and stuck it in my sock, and so that way I won't lose it, just in case it is good luck. Return to kickoff 99 yards against the Oakland Raiders.
Wow!
Oh my gosh, who does that nowadays?
And couldn't wait to go over and present that. And a picture to the kid and thank him for giving me a good luck charm.
Oh my gosh, what a great story, Eddie, Coach. Let's talk about your brother, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. What an amazing honor for your family. I can't think of a better legacy for your family, for your mom and dad, of course, but also for your niece and nephew, Jarrett and
Brittany,
Jared and Brittany. How are they doing? And talk about the NFL Man of the Year Award, which is the most important award that you can get off the field.
Well, they are doing fine. I think Jared has 2 kids, and Brittany is probably expecting their second or third. They are doing well. Jared, he had a few years in the NFL and started his own company, and it's doing well now. But getting back to the NFL Man of the Year Award, I think it is the most prestigious award that the league offers each year. And to have it named after somebody who represents everything good about the game, how you play it, how you carry yourself, and how you treat people. I mean, to me, that's an ultimate honor.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
There's no question about it. When did you know that? Was Walter always trying to keep up with you? How did you see something special, or I know he looked up to you, and without an older brother, I don't think I would have made it in the NFL without my older brothers, because I was always playing with older, bigger, faster, stronger kids. Talk about that dynamic.
Well, he was your typical younger brother. I mean, he felt that he had to outdo his older brother, who was doing well at every sport that we played in. And I think the competition between us led to the camaraderie that we developed as brothers that led to successful performances at the next level and at Jackson State. Most people don't realize he was my college roommate at Jackson State for 2 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
He was my roommate in the three-room house. The three-room house, not three-bedroom, three-room house that we brought up in. And he was my roommate at Jackson State also. So we got close. I can remember the best advice I gave him when he was a sophomore, going into his sophomore year. Mm-hmm. He was a little depressed because he hadn't been able to find a girlfriend. And I pulled him to the side. I said, "Don't worry, they will find you. And don't worry about that little thing about wetting the bed that you're still doing. It won't hold you back eventually."
Wow.
Just like an older brother, man.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah, I would have never made it if it wasn't for my older brother's toughness, meanness, and boldness and everything else, man. It was all right. So let's talk golf. I mean, gosh, Eddie, I'm so impressed. People out there don't know, maybe a lot of them know you from football, but you have 37 SWAC conference titles, 25, I think 23, 24 men, 25, somewhere in there. And you started the women's golf team. I don't even know where to start with golf. I guess I should say congratulations. I don't think anybody else has 37 conference titles in the country. Maybe they do, but talk about starting the girls' golf team, taking your team to the first ever NCAA tournament, first HBCU to go. Talk about golf.
Well, my mother ran the cafeteria at the local Columbia Country Club, and every Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday, I was up there caddying. So I developed a knowledge and a real lack for the game. For being up there, being around it, watching how it's played, I learned the etiquette, what to do and what not to do. And the only problem we had was it was an all-white country club that's recently been bought by a black group. So it's hopefully it will be just a country club. When I got to Jackson, when I started playing golf on the celebrity circuit, i.e., I beat Steph Curry and his daddy.
His daddy.
People start realizing that maybe there's a black athlete who is more than a football or basketball player that can play golf, and they offered me a job at Jackson State to coach the men's golf team that had never won a SWAC championship in the history of the university. Wow. I said, if you allow me to do what I need to do, we'll see what we can do. Well, they rewarded me. I started in 87, 88. They rewarded me in 1995 after winning 11 or 12 SWAC championships. Say, hey, you've done so much with so little for so long. We want you to do something with girls that we don't have. So we started the girls program. And luckily, I got to coach my daughter for 4 years, and she won 4 championships, went to 4 NCAAs, and was an All-American.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yep.
Holy
The only person that I've had found no success in coaching was the gentleman that we're talking about on this show that wore 34. I mean, you know, but he loved the game. He loved the game.
Did he? He loved it too? He loved it as well?
He absolutely loved it. And he had what most African-American men don't have. He had the persona that made companies want him as well as he played or did not play to carry their bag, use their clubs, and wear their clothing. And that trickled down. Yeah, I look like a PGA player thanks to Walter.
Wow.
Well, unbelievable, Eddie, man. I'm so proud of you. Do you happen to know Adrian Stills by any chance?
Very well. Adrian was one of the first black golfers who tried to make it on the PGA Tour when there wasn't any black golfers on the PGA Tour.
Right.
I mean, he's a forerunner of everything that the guys are still trying to do now.
Yes, he is.
I owe a lot of my success and my philosophies on how to teach the game of golf from Adrian Stills. And he's another Florida boy.
Yes, he's a Pensacola treasure. Yes, he is.
Pensacola boy, South Carolina State Bulldog. Yeah, he's South Carolina State. He's MEAC. But yeah.
We won't hold that against him.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Eddie.
We won't hold that against him being a MEAC boy.
We won't hold that against him. I hear you.
No, he's also co-founder of the Advocate PGA Tour, introducing golf to inner city youth, and that tour has grown now to 18 events a year and over 800,000 in prize money. Are you familiar with the Advocate Tour? Obviously,
very much. Yeah. I still have about 6 or 7 guys that I coach and ladies who are playing professionally, and most of the guys have come through that. And the fact is, it gives you an opportunity to get the experience at another level that is necessary for you to compete at the next level.
Right.
So my hats off to what they've been able to do. The prize money is not what you get on the PGA, but it pays bills and keeps you in golf balls and keeps you in the game.
Right. Keeps you going. Yes, exactly. It keeps your dream alive, helps them keep their dream alive. Gosh, there's so much to talk about. I want to talk about the difference between playing and coaching, because you and I, we both played, and sometimes football is the same way, but golf is even, I think, is harder for me to teach it. Where did you learn to teach and coach golf, even though you played it?
Well, again, I went to the golf course and carried a bag from the time I was about 11 until the time I left Columbia, headed to Jackson State to play football. So when you're around people who respect the game, know how to play it, understand what the rules are, you learn to respect the game. And if you can teach a young person to respect the game, and he has any work ethic at all, then he will get better if he doesn't give up.
The Open's this weekend. Do you have do you follow the PGA Tour? Do you have an opinion? Do you have a favorite player? Or?
Well, ever since I didn't make it on tour, I've been kind of down on the tour. So, but now, I have a kid that's playing on the senior tour now, Tim O'Neill from Savannah, Georgia, that's doing very well. He's well thought of. He's had some really top 5 finishes in the last year or so. So I pull for the seniors more than I do the regular tour.
Yeah, the ones
it's a black thing. It's a black thing.
Yeah. All right. I heard somewhere you played with 4 U.S. presidents. You played golf with 4 U.S. presidents. I know you played with. Is that true?
Yes, I've had the honor to play with 4 sitting presidents.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to have you rank them from 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Bill Clinton.
1. But he couldn't count. He couldn't count.
Was Ronald Reagan the other one? Another one?
Yes. Yes.
All right. What would you rate the Gippers game?
Oh, at 1 to 10, I would say he's about a 6 that should have played tennis.
You'd have beat him in tennis too. So
I would. I played tennis. I lettered in tennis at Jackson State.
Did you really?
Yes,
no
I did.
Way. Oh
yes.
My God!
Did you play baseball?
I was drafted out of high school as a baseball player.
Wow. Who was the baseball coach? That was the guy I wanted to play for. Pop Kittle was at FAM. Who's the guy the longtime coach that you had at Jackson State?
W.C. Gordon.
W.C. Gordon. Okay.
W.C. Gordon and Robert Bradley followed him.
Bradley, that's the one. That's the one I wanted to play for. Bradley. Yes.
He knew how to coach and he knew how to develop players. I mean, he's Dave Clark and Arcan Boyd are 2 of the guys that he developed that nobody wanted. Nobody recruited him out of high school, and he made them in major league players.
Holy cow!
I forgot about Arcan Boyd.
All right, so you gave the Gipper a 6. Was Gerald Ford another one that you played with?
Yes. He wasn't that bad though. He really wasn't that bad.
7?
I would say
7.
Yeah. 7 is about as good as they get, but you're playing with presidents, you got Secret Service all the way around, and the presidents always play with, they always have a good lie.
Always have a good lie.
Yeah.
Before and after before and after. All the time.
Who was the 4th sitting president you played with? Bush?
Oh, yes.
George Bush?
Yeah, Bush wasn't bad at all. He really wasn't. I mean,
what did you learn from any of them? Did you just joke around with them? Because playing golf with somebody, that's a 4-hour-long walk with your friends.
No, if you play with the presidents, it's 4.5-hour ride with the Secret Service, your friends, their friends, and the camera for posterity.
I hear you.
But you know what? It was an honor to be playing a game I really loved and be around the most important people in the world trying to do the same thing. I mean, anything that you enjoy doing, you can always find somebody that you never thought would enjoy doing it with you.
Wow. Holy cow. Well, I was hoping you would say Obama was one of them because he likes to play golf and
I don't count Obama because we only played about 7 holes. He had to leave.
Oh, you did play? You did play a few holes with him?
Yeah, he's terrible. He's too tall.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, basketball is his favorite sport. Yeah, basketball.
He had a basketball goal put up at the White House. How good is that? How good is that?
Oh yeah.
Look, but with his golf swing, what he should have had is a driving range.
There's a lot of driving ranges here in Pensacola, man. The Northwest Florida chapter of the First Tee program just does an outstanding job, thanks to Marty Stanovich. But y'all, the tour players chip in: Jerry Pate, Joe Durant, Heath Slocum, Boo Weekley, Bubba Watson. This area is not only known for all of Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Boo is from Mississippi.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said Boo is from Mississippi. We claim Boo.
Boo Weekley.
Boo Weekley. Yeah. He's a
Milton boy.
He's a Milton. Yeah.
Milton, Florida.
I know, but we claim in Mississippi.
Oh, y'all claiming it. Okay.
Oh, you played with Boo. Oh, he's an Alabama guy, He's an Alabama fan.
Yep.
Yeah. You probably talked football maybe with him because he's a football fan.
Well, anybody who played anything at the University of Alabama, all they talk is football.
Oh yeah.
No, well, I mean, when you are the gold standard, you have to talk about it, I guess, right? I have to say it. All right.
You didn't go to Alabama, did you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, I am in Alabama. I'm from upstate New York, Syracuse, New York. I'm from basketball country, but I was a football nut, so I walked on and played at Bama. I played for Coach Bryant and Ray Perkins. So
I played golf with Ray.
Yeah, no, he's not
I didn't
a bad
get a chance
golfer.
to play golf with Coach Bryant, but I played with Ray several times.
I wish I'd have played with Coach Bryant. I played with Coach Perkins wasn't a bad golfer. He was pretty good.
No, he wasn't bad at all. Yep.
Well, what do you think about the NFL running backs being devalued nowadays? I just saw Saquon Barkley. They did not sign him to a long-term deal. I don't understand it. He's like their heart and soul to the team. They give an average quarterback big money, but they won't give an elite running back the money. What's your feeling on that, Eddie?
Well, excuse me. Every team puts a priority on longevity. And within the NFL structure, the average running back's value depreciates after 4.5 years. And what they're looking long-term and the financial gain, they will use a top running back 25, 30 times a game for 4 years, and then they try to trade him because they don't want to pay him. It is what it is.
Your brother toted the ball so many times, and I was blessed enough to play against him in 1987. His last year was my first year of the Bucks, and he was just those legs, those tree trunk legs of his. He lasted a long time for a running back, and they even how it is. We used to just take people's head off back in the day. You can't do that nowadays. So I don't understand why they don't have the longevity now like they did back when Walter and you played.
But you do know that Walter's entire elite year, and after being drafted in the first round and making All-Pro a dozen or so time and leading the league in rushing, never made $200,000 a year.
Yep. Absolutely. I got a player that I coached. He makes more, and he's in the NFL. I've coached him in high school. He makes more in one game than I did my whole year in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, again, you can't hold it against anybody for getting as much as they can, but you hold it against the league for not applauding people who do great things for them. You got to reward them somehow.
I get on the league all the time for not taking care of the ex-NFL players. I don't care what you say. The benefits are horrible. They make billions of dollars. It's all about the money in the shield. But there are thousands of players out there, for instance, that concussion lawsuit. That was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke. Because 50% of the players don't play more than 2-3 years. Well, they got the same problems as everybody else, but we're not going to take care of them. We don't care if they get ALS or CTE or anything like that. So, I applaud ex-NFL players, anybody with power and influence, for standing up to the ex-players that have really gotten taken advantage of.
But Coach, you know what bothers me most about that, because I'm on that concussion lawsuit. What bothers me is that we have guys, former players, in a position to carry the banner about what we've gone through and what's happening to players now, and they sit back like it don't matter. Right. And I don't want to call names, but if you worn my shoes, you know if they're too tight.
Right. Absolutely.
So, that's it's just sad, and I don't knock the NFL because it's a great organization, but when you don't take care of your product, you get your history dies. Part of your history dies every time we lose a former player. And lately we've been losing a lot of former NFL players. And that part of history will be forgotten and unrewarded.
Absolutely. Well said, Eddie. I'm glad you said that. Stand up for those players. Come on over here, Harley. I want you to introduce my producer that helps me out a little bit. Harley, he's got his Cleveland Browns jersey on. Martin Emerson from Pensacola is a Cleveland Brown now, so he's got big fans here in Pensacola. Go Brownies!
You know what Martin? You know what Martin has that I don't have?
What's that?
He has a Cleveland Brown jersey. I don't have mine.
Wow.
Harley has a couple Cleveland Brown jerseys. I don't have my Cleveland Brown jersey either. You know what? I don't have my Argonaut jersey, but I did see it on. I saw it was up for auction. My Toronto Argonaut jersey was up for auction, and I was like, who would want to buy that?
You got your shorts.
Well, I got a jersey from every team I ever played with, starting in high school.
Do you really? Oh, I heard about your collectible room. Now it's not. You're a collector. You're not a hoarder. There's a difference. Collectors have really good stuff. Hoarders have junk.
Yeah.
Talk about your collective room, man. You got a lot of Walter stuff, or is that Brittany and?
Yeah, I got a section of me and Walter, and then a section of some of the great guys I played with. I have helmets from everybody from Greg Pruitt to the quarterback of the Saints now.
Brian Sipe?
Yeah, I didn't get Brian Sipe. He wouldn't sign.
He was like Bo
I
Jackson.
couldn't get him to sign, but I got Saints helmets, Cowboy helmets, Browns helmets, Chiefs helmets, Toronto Argonauts helmets.
No way. You got an Argo helmet?
Oh, yeah.
I'm jealous. Now I'm jealous, Eddie.
Make me an offer. I can make you unjealous.
Make me an offer.
Eddie, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's always fun. You want to say something to him?
Yeah,
come on. Oh, Harley's got a question for you.
Okay, fire away, Harley. Nice jersey.
Sit down.
So I was looking through some of the stats, and back in 1980, you had 53 kickoff returns, and you had 1,184 yards throughout the season, which is obviously incredible. And I'm just kind of curious. Obviously, when you're kick returning, there's a million things going on around you. You have to, every second you have to decipher what hole to go through. You have a million things to be looking out for, blockers and defenders. I'm just curious. So let's say you have for anyone trying to become a kick returner and trying to improve, what would your advice be?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
That's his advice.
No,
that's a good point. The NFL, obviously, they made the rule, I believe, delaying, whenever they can start, the defenders can start going for a kick returner. It's got to be one of those dangerous positions in football. So, obviously, you have so many decisions to make within a microscopic amount of time. So, that's a good point. Don't do it.
Well, Mr. Payton, I think where Harley was going with, they are starting to change those rules.
Yeah.
And I thought because of Devin Hester, I thought it was more of a salary thing, because all of a sudden they went, when you score a touchdown, they don't go to a commercial, they kick the extra point, and then they come out and the ball goes into the end zone. Then they go to a commercial.
Yeah.
So, in other words, I don't get a kickoff return, because if that guy if he returns a kickoff and scores, I don't get that commercial.
Yeah.
But if the kicker kicks the ball in the end zone during the kickoff, I go to break. I don't get a kickoff, so I don't have to pay the kick returner. I don't have to worry about concussion. Okay. Yeah. And I get my commercial, because if Eddie Payton runs that ball all the way, I lose a commercial that game. That's what I see, sir. I don't have to pay the kick returners. I don't have to pay the kick returners, and I get an extra commercial.
Yeah, you think it's a dying art? Do you think kick return is a dying art?
No. I think the rules. Good to meet you too. The rules are set up now.
Thanks.
Harley, good to meet you. The rules are set up now to try to protect the health of the players.
Right.
And more players were injured either returning kicks or covering kicks than the league could justify doing. They moved it up a little bit, and then they got guys who just kick it out the end zone, so you don't have a return. You get it 4 or 5 yards deep in the end zone, you take a knee.
Yeah.
And we're getting more and more of that now.
Yes, sir. You take a knee, and the owner takes the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eddie, man, it's always so much fun. You're always gracious, man, to come on my show, and I really appreciate that from my heart. But hey, are you going out golfing or fishing today?
Both. I'm doing both. It's 96 degrees in Mississippi, so the golf starts at 4 o'clock. From 4 to 6, I play golf. At 6, I go to the lake and get in the boat and go around the lake and go fishing.
Nice. Wow. Nice. All right, Eddie. Have a great day. God bless you. Thanks for joining the Coach's Corner show. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, I appreciate you having me on. I had a ball, as I always do. And in leaving, I'd like for you to take these words as encouragement. Keep up the good work.
Wow.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Well,
anytime.
Appreciate you,
anytime.
Coach, proud of you, Coach. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, man, he's amazing, isn't he?
Incredible.
He is incredible. The whole family's incredible. How about his mom and dad sacrificing the work ethic?
It was 6 jobs.
6 jobs.
Both
of them worked 3 jobs,
mm-hmm.
not just for a little while. Oh, my God. Amazing people, man. See, that's what hard work can do. I want to thank everybody. Harley, thanks for coming in, helping producing. Hobbs, thanks for coming over. And, of course, I want to thank Eddie Payton for an amazing interview and the great work that he does with golf and football. We're going to go to commercial break. Can't do this without our great commercials. We will talk to you soon. So long.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
Step One works so hard to get you in the perfect car. Looking for a better car buying experience? With the Step One Advantage from Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola, receive no-hassle market-based pricing or incentives by pre-ordering. Looking to sell or trade? Our dedicated team will even come to you. Plus, every vehicle sold at Step One supports local charities right in your neighborhood. Experience the Step One Advantage at Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola today.
75 years of service and high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple pane of brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm